Paul Dillett and Lee Priest, two of the great ones for sure, from the greatest decade, as far as a lot of people see it, the 1990s. Now there is your Kevin Lavronis, your Sean Rays, Nasser El-Sambadis, and your Flex Wheelers. And of course, you go ahead and your Dorian Yates and your Ronnie Colemans. But to a lesser extent, in my former belief, there was your Chris Cormiers, but now it's plain to see Chris Cormiers every bit as good or better than the Flex Wheelers, Kevin Lavronis, Sean Rays, Nasser El-Sambadis. But then a little bit below them, I guess, is your Paul Dilletts and your Lee Priests. But who is better between these two dudes? I decided to use the 1994 Paul Dillett, the best version. A couple of 93 ones slipped in there. And I used the 1997 version of Lee Priest. So both of their best versions, respectively. Front relaxed position. What can I say, guys? This is a mass monster versus a short little fella. There's nothing really Lee Priest can do. There's nowhere he can hide in this one. But he does look fantastic. From behind, I think Lee Priest might be in trouble when you look at the glute region. Now, he does have superior lat development, perhaps traps as well. But when you look at the glutes, for sure, Paul Dillett definitely did not phone it in as far as the conditioning is concerned. Let's begin the muscularity round with the front double bicep pose. And what can I say, guys? Lee Priest, he is superior in so many ways. But the God-given way, the size, he is losing out so bad in that aspect. I mean, Paul Dillett, 6'1". What is he going to do? These guys always were chasing after each other on the Olympia stage. One would place ahead of the other constantly, and it was always Paul Dillett placing ahead of Lee Priest. Was it politics? Or was it just the fact that Paul Dillett is so much bigger than Priest that it is very difficult to give him a point? I don't know, though. In the front double bicep, his biceps themselves so much better than Paul's. But like I said, the size is going to give it to Paul, I think, every time. The front lat spread, however, I am a stickler when it comes to symmetry, as you all know. And even in this shot, the camera is down for Paul. I actually made him a little bit shorter than he really is. He's about a foot taller than Lee Priest, for goodness sakes. But anyway, his lats were never symmetrical, and his delts also, when he pulled this shot, and all the other shots, his delts were very symmetrical. But this one, I don't know. I never understood it. Lee Priest, the camera is tilted thusly, but trust me, he had a fantastic front lat spread. World class, definitely gets a point. So this is a matchup after all. Side chest, there is just nowhere for little Priest to run. Fantastic, I mean, looks great. Look at the pec. But Paul Dillett, world class, one of the best side chests of all time. Not my specific flavor. I prefer a bigger pec. He almost has the Ronnie Coleman syndrome. The delt overtakes the pec. But not as bad, I guess. His size just overwhelms poor Priest. And the lag development, look at that. Paul Dillett, just world class, I'm here to tell you. Side tricep. I never liked Paul Dillett's side tricep at all. It was his display. Genetically, he had a fantastic muscle. Look at the tricep itself. I was going through a lot of other versions of Lee Priest, and he has one fantastic side tricep. Let me tell you what, this angle is not doing him justice at all. So I am going to go ahead, give Priest a point. Side tricep, kudos to him, getting a point on the big man. All right, make or break time, the back developments. And this is a tricky one, the rear lat spread. The camera angle is tilted thusly for Lee Priest, so you can't really get the whole full silhouette. Although I did rummage through and I found some other versions of him, and he does have a nice symmetrical rear lat spread. Paul Dillett, on the other hand, it's a warbly, wobbly, unsymmetrical mess, really. He has the glutes, though, I will give him that. Not enough. I'm going to go ahead and give Priest a slight edge. The rear double by. Now, this is a little bit closer of a shot here. Oh, did I mention that was the 93? Paul Dillett for the lat spread. Rear double by, we're going back to the 94. I don't know, the glutes, they're just too tight, too tight. And when you compare them with Lee Priest, his conditioning, just far superior, what can I say? I don't want to give him a point, though. Look at that back development. Could I hand Lee Priest a loss to a back shot against Paul Dillett? How embarrassing. Either way, I think the glutes are fetching Paul a victory. So, we have made it to this, the ab and thigh shot, and it is debatable. Structurally speaking, Paul has it. He has the fantastic six-pack, a nice small waist, things of that nature. And he has the advantage in the wide clavicle. Of course, it's going to be wider. He's a big monster. But even if they were the same size, he still has that advantage. But I'm going with Priest. Why? He has one of the most fantastic set of abs that I've ever seen in my life. Just unbelievable. Him and Sean Ray, probably the best, most aesthetic looking abs, I believe. So he is fetching a point. This is not a bad little matchup. The most muscular, however, Paul Dillett. He's just a giant. It's like a giant Hostetler. And poor little Lee Priest doesn't stand a chance. He would step on him during the pose down. My soul. Of course, one wonders what Lee Priest would look like if he were 6'1". Ooh, actually, he would probably flatten Paul Dillett. Look at that. What a monster. He would be like a big, giant, better version of Nasser El-Body. Pretty similar. But anyway, he is not. He is 5'4". So, bodybuilding, it's all about size, guys. So, Paul Dillett gets the final point. Let's tally these up. And it is a good thing he got that final point, because this is your winner, 1994, Paul Dillett. With the muscularity round, it was an exact tie, with all of the poses, taking everything into consideration. But Paul Dillett, he had an edge in the symmetry round, let's face it. And basically, that is where the advantage is between Paul Dillett and poor little Lee Priest. He's just too small. Both of them are built similar in a way that their back developments may be their weakest point. Both of them small waists, but very muscular in many ways. Big calves, big legs, things of that nature. But one guy 6'1", one guy 5'4". There's just no way. Symmetry round all the way. And that was the Achilles heel for poor Priest. Paul Dillett reigned supreme today. So, hope you enjoyed this comparison, guys. Hit a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you have not already. Have a good one.